Thank you for joining the SharpLook beta program. In this video I will give you an introductory tour of SharpLook features, but before that let me point out a place where you can share your ideas and report bugs and open conversations. It's on our forum, ynnsharp.com/support, and then you would go on the SharpLook community. Now it's empty and is waiting for you. So let me get back to the video, which is about getting started with SharpLook, which integrates with DNN as a skin. So this means that you can either set it in admin site settings, so you would set it as the default skin for all DNN pages, or you could set it per page. So you could have these two strategies to either redesign the whole site or design a whole site from scratch, or you can do one page at a time. For example, you could migrate an existing site, or you could just create new content based on SharpLook. So let me just jump into action and show you what SharpLook really is, how it looks like, how it feels. So just let's say create SharpLook, let's say 95, because it's been a lot of testing. I'll make it visible to our users, and then under advanced settings, under base skin, I will choose the SharpLook skin like I mentioned earlier. Now notice that you might have other SharpLook files here, and I will go to those later. Now you need to select the default one. Okay, I'll just click create. So now we have a new page. It's a blank page, it doesn't have anything yet. Normally when we will release SharpLook, it will have plenty of templates, so you can start with something that already looks extraordinary, so you don't have to start with white canvas, which can be a little bit discouraging. Okay, but notice the clean design, notice how the control bar at the top is gone, notice how you have the view modes here, and notice how quick the page loads when you switch between view modes. This is because we eliminated a lot of server-side controls. So basically we use very little of ASP.NET. Most of our code is HTML5, AngularJS, so very little server-side code to slow down the process. And then you notice that we also added the design view, and this is because we want to bring everybody on the site. This is not something new, this maybe you've seen this many times before, where you can just edit a row, set some colors, some backgrounds, some borders, and so on. You've seen this before in many skinning engines maybe. This is nothing new. Okay, what is new is that you can actually also create the layout directly from the website, so you don't have to go to skin SCSX file, you can create them directly in here. So for example, I can add a row, split it, resize it, and create any kind of layout I want directly from the website. So I don't have to go on disk to change a CSS file. And then again I can go to design mode and get each one of these rows and give it a different styling. You have to also keep in mind that this is beta, and also the version that I'm using here is not even the latest version, so it might look a bit different, and maybe you'll be lucky to see fewer bugs than I did in this demo. So you can see we've already solved a few big problems in DNN. You see it's very fast, it's ultra fast, and we haven't got to the part to optimize the code yet, so it will be way faster than it is now. So you can't even imagine DNN being that fast. And then we solved the problem of having to go through to the CSS files. So that's a lot of time spent by developers that basically has no value is wasted time, and I can't even imagine if DNNs and if all developers in DNN spend that time doing something like this, like Shardlock for example, where DNN would be today. So that much time was wasted with those SCSX files. And then we also brought the designer on the website. So what we did here, we brought everybody on the website. So the need to go to disk and create a SCSX file or CSS code is greatly reduced. Okay. Okay, so now the question is, where is everything? Because, okay, you can switch to modes, create stuff, but how do you access all of the functionalities in DNN? They're hidden behind this button here at the top, this icon. And here first of all, you'll notice the link to the beta notice and the link to the forum that I showed you earlier. So use this whenever you have an idea, just fill this, type it, don't let it slip away. Okay? And here you'll notice all the admin features that you normally have in the control tab. And why we set it up like this? One of the other major feature in Shardlock is it's touch friendly. So you can basically take a tablet and do all of this. Okay, so you don't have hover menus, small menus that you can only hit with the mouse. You can use the finger, and all of these are very easily accessible. Okay, and another thing is the autocomplete feature. So every time you type something here, let's say settings, you see, it pulls up suggestions from all the host and portal features. Okay, and this is actually an engine that it can also be extended by third parties. So you can drop a config file in a folder and provide new suggestions to this engine without modifying Shardlock source code in any way. So you can just plug in your own code to provide suggestions. Yeah, and we'll cover more of these developer options in time with specialized videos. Right now the goal is to show you as much as possible in a short time, so you can get started with everything, and then we'll go into greater details on everything. Okay. And what's important to know also about this suggestion is that it's also wired to the key press of the page. So when you start typing something, for example, create new page. Sorry, let me try again. So I'll say create new page. Okay. It will pull up the suggestions, so you can just hit the down arrow, hit an enter, and it will take you to the form to create a new page. Okay, and this is the standard port from DNN, but probably you are already, how to say, bored with this form, maybe tired. It's a long form with a lot of options that most of the time you don't care about. So what we did, we actually also implemented some simplified forms, which will increase the speed of creating portals even more. So if you just click create page, you see, without reloading the page, you get a new form where you can quickly create a page, give it a name, some settings. Okay, insert location. This is something that I think DNN always did it wrong by having too many options. So you could insert at any location, after, before, so it was a mess. But really, most of the time you just need to insert relative to current page. So if you want a child page, you would go to if you want a child page under home, you would just go to the home page and create it from there, and then you just say child of current page. And here again you can say, if you have multiple pages, you can specify some position relative to that. Otherwise, you also have the option to put it before homepage or after homepage. Okay, so it's greatly simplified because you really 99% of the time you don't need all those options. So they just add complexity and which slow things down. And the purpose of Shardlock is not to give you all the options in the world, is to give you exactly what you need so you can do it fast. Okay, good. So also you can choose some templates and the content template from DNN. And another thing that I want to point out is our settings engine. So you can see you can actually write some settings that are per page, but they also have some option to inherit and some option to allow overridden at the lower level. And these settings actually come from a higher level. They can be specified per host, per portal, and per page. And why do I say this is a great engine? Is because you can create your own settings just from the configuration. So, for example, you can place a config file that asks for a phone number. So here, there will be a field asking me for a phone number. And you could display that phone number in the header template, which means that you would give access to your client only to the phone number. Because one of the problems that we had during time was with the cross architecture of the page settings in DNN. You cannot give a less than a mini user access to modify only some of the settings that you want, and besides that there will be some custom settings. You cannot do this from the DNN UI. Okay? And these settings are available in the header template, and I will show you that in a bit, but are also available in the HTTP context items. So if you are a developer, you can collect some settings here, and then you would have them, you can access them programmatically from the code and do something based on that. And to get this variable, you just create a config file. So it's all automated like this. Okay? And with also at a later stage, you implement a custom module that lets you access and write templates using these variables. Okay? So it will give you great flexibility in building custom systems. Our target customer here is the DNN developer that resells portals to a specialized industry. So you want to make it once, and then you want to customize, you want to give your client the option to change the address, the business hours, and I don't know, something else. And that's how the customer configures somewhere in a screen like this, because there's also a something like a page settings. Okay, same thing. And they would not get access to everything. So that's why I say it's a great engine for this audience. But I'm sure that there are tons of other use cases for this that we haven't thought of them yet. And also you'll notice at the bottom you have the advanced button that takes you to the standard DNN form, so you can get from there. Okay. And of course you'll notice this is very fast. So if you create a page, let's say look 96, page, you see creation was almost instant. Okay, so you wouldn't get that normally in DNN. And I also want to point out that the site that I have is actually a quite a big site. I have a lot of extensions. It's actually a development site, so it should be slower. Yeah. But you see, for example, now I go to a DNN page. You see how long it takes for the install extension page to load. We wait. You see, it takes a long time until I get to this page to show you that I actually have a lot of extensions here of our own, all in debug mode. You know, so this should have been a very slow site. And you see, when I go to a page using one of the DNN skins, you saw it took like 5 seconds to start up. But if I go to a Outlook page, or even create a new one, you saw it was almost instant. Okay, so you can notice that even if we haven't got to the part to optimizing Sharploop, just by the way of the architecture that we laid out, it is blazing fast. So you cannot believe how fast this thing is. Okay, you'll not believe. So when you see this, you'll not believe this is DNN. And I think this has the power to take DNN to a whole new level, to a whole new market. Okay. So I think there are a lot of things to explore. Only one thing left I want to show, or maybe two of them. First is the layout. You can enable header, because if you saw we had no menu or something like this, but you can enable it here. Of course we'll have nicer UI to do this. And then you will see a header like this that's also responsive, so you can lower it down, it will open, expand the menu from the left, so, and all of that nice stuff. And the other thing that I want to show you is that you can actually save the template, the layout and the design options per page, or as a template. Okay? Normally in DNN, skins are a template. You can reuse them between several pages. In Sharlook, by default, the settings are per page and are saved in the database. So all this layout that we've created here will be saved. When I click save, it will be saved in the database. There is no file on disk. And if we go back to the beginning of the video, you might remember that we set the skin to be host Sharlook, the simple one, without sorry, not this one, without any name after it. This is because this default one actually loads the setting from the database. If we were to use one of these named ones, it will load the settings from the SCSX files, and it will resemble how the standard skins work in DNN. And this happens when you save as template. So when you save as template, you can give it a name, and then choose the scope, or filter post, and hit save. It will create a template, an SCSX file, and it will associate your current page, and you can use it actually in other places. So I think that's about the basics, all the basics that I can give to you. Let me thank you again for participating to our beta program, and I hope that together we can take this to the final stage and make the most impact for our DNN community. And remember, you have to go to dnnsharp.com/support and go to the Sharlook community and join the conversation. Thank you for your time.